So, Alphen, how's your pursuit of wedding knowledge progressing?
With everyone's help, I've been able to look into several things I was curious about.
Happy to hear it.
I'm still clueless when it comes to marriage in general. I'm still in the dark on what married life is like after the ceremony is over.
It does seem as though that would be a separate set of knowledge. You'd need a new home, furnishings for it, things of that ilk.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna do housing. Like when you're married, you find a house together, like residence and stuff. So residency, and it's gotta be something with the actual ceremony, like proposing, or maybe vows, maybe wedding vows would be the next quest.
A home? You need a house if you get married?
I mean, unless you want to live in caves for the rest of your life.
It's not a requirement, but generally speaking, it even came up in the conversation amongst the ladies that sparked your quest for knowledge. Shion said she wanted a warm home to live in, remember? It's completely normal to think of such things.
It is?
So I've heard.
Then the next thing I research will be where to live after getting married. I want to know everything that's needed.
Very well. You know, I once heard someone say, marriage is not the destination, but a new departure. I believe those were Droshin's words of wisdom.
Really? Does that mean Droshin's married?
He is indeed. Seeing as he has experience, you may wish to seek his counsel.
All right, let's go.
Relaxing residence. They even talk like about, sometimes they'll say Shion and like, oh yeah, it's about Shion, but other times some of the characters are just like, oh, let's shut it down, like Law just did there. So it makes no sense to me.
But your life together after that goes on for years and years.
True. It is certainly a topic worthy of careful consideration.
Oh, whoops, I wanna... yeah, let's roam around to Shion as we're trying to plan her wedding. No. Oh, Droshin's in Vicent. Nice. Ba-bum.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Oh, hello. Did you need something?
There's something I want to talk to you about. I heard you're a married man, so...
You once spoke to me about the necessities in everyday life after marriage. Do you recall? We've come to you because Alphen would like to hear what you have to say. Can you inform him of what is necessary?
Is that so? Now that's a serious consultation. If you're going to get married, I think you first need to decide where you want to live.
No, I'm not getting married in the immediate future. I'm just curious and doing some research.
I see. Even so, I think you'll get an idea of what you need if you picture what you want for yourself. Are there any cities you've thought would be nice to live in?
No, not really. I'd never given it any thought.
You know, Shion once said that she enjoys the mood of gazing upon the snow of Cislodia, and that doing so calms her. Other than that, she also mentioned that she finds the weather pleasant in Ganeth Heros.
She did? Maybe that means she wants to live in Cislodia or Ganeth Heros someday. I was just reacting to Shion's comments. Don't read into it too much.
Of course, we would never.
If you don't have any strong preference on where you want to live, maybe you should spend some time traveling around. Cast aside your preconceived notions and look around with an objective eye. You'll likely discover some conditions you can't compromise on.
Thanks. I think it's worth a try. Should we start by visiting Cislodia then? I can see what Bregan has to say too.
By all means. I think it's smart to learn about marriage and all it requires well in advance. Married life is like a long journey. If you don't care for and support each other, it won't last. The most important thing is to discuss and understand each other. Two people living together...
We've strayed quite far from the matter at hand, and it seems this is going to take a while yet.
Not as long as the speech you gave at Kagari and Notio's wedding.
That smirk.
My apologies. Are you in a hurry? I still have more to share.
Thanks for your help, Droshin. You can tell me the rest the next time I see you.
Dohlim brings up Shion's name. And Alphen's just like, oh yeah, don't pay mind to it, after saying where Shion wants to live.
Snow. That's one of their good points.
I never thought much about how a house is designed. This is all so new to me.
We need to start keeping an eye out for this kind of stuff. Wandering aimlessly won't cut it.
I don't think it's, like, weird if Dohalim brought up Shion and Alphen just said, like, oh, those must be places Shion wants to live. I don't think that's, like... I don't think there's anything to read too much into if Shion's name was brought up. I just hate the inconsistency of the game bringing up that they're doing this for Shion and they don't want her to find out, but also some of the characters just being, like, accidentally bringing up Shion's name and just, like, taking it back. It's very weird. And doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Oh, this is a, probably for getting all the reconstructions. Thanks to all of you, the nation is springing back to life. I can never thank you enough. Don't mention it, Bregan. You've helped us just as much, if not more. I hope people here can get closer, even if just a little. Or as my dad would say, break down the barriers inside their hearts. That's easier said than done, but I'll continue working towards the same goal. I almost forgot, this is a small thanks from everyone in the nation. Please take it. Whoa, really? Thanks, we'll put it to good use. There was a talk of erecting a statue of Zephyr, but I figured you'd rather have something useful for your travels. My dad wouldn't want a statue anyway. Thanks, Bregan. You get a bunch of herbs from doing all these quests, which isn't terrible. This is new. Alright, this wasn't here before. This is kind of cool, so this is new. There are very, very minor changes when you complete all the reconstruction quests.
What? You're looking for a place to live?
We're gathering information about marriage. More specifically, we're currently looking into the process of house hunting.
Sounds complicated. I don't know anything about all that, but we'll welcome you with open arms if you want to move here, Alphen.
Thank you for saying so.
Thing is, there are some difficulties with living here, as you know. For one thing, there are more disputes between fellow Danans here than in other nations.
I'd hope they'd all get along better after they were freed. I understand things still have a ways to go.
The other thing is that, in general, Renans aren't allowed into the city. You get lots of Renans coming to see you, don't you, Alphen? I know you've got both Renans and Danans in your crew.
Yeah, that could be a problem anytime Renans want to come visit.
The last issue is that the land around Cislodia is barren. It isn't easy to secure the food you need. We're not starving yet, but there's not much by the way of access.
So, if someone with, say, an incredibly high metabolism were to move in, it would put more strain on the food supply?
I had the same thought. Even if I'm comfortable, the person I live with may not be.
Yes. I think it's important to keep that viewpoint in mind when looking at other cities as well.
Thanks for talking with us, Bregan. I'm not looking to move just yet, but when the time comes, I'll remember everything you said.
Been a pleasure. Come by any time. Gathering information, house hunting. You got some big life changes planned there, Alphen? If it is what I think it is. Nah, I won't pry. Good luck, Alphen.
Thanks, Bregan.
Now then, shall we depart for Pelegion? I will refrain from shamelessly recommending it, though.
Yeah, let's. The more places we can visit, the more informed I'll be. Plus, we can talk with Gagne to see if he has any advice.
Go to Pelegion? Where's Gagne out? He's a level 3. I always forget.
To Cislodia really helped me understand some of what's important when deciding on a place to live.
If we continue to observe different locales, we will be able to understand more clearly what type of location is best.
Let me read these Shion diary entries. I think I'll start writing a diary today to commemorate embarking on the journey with everyone, or something like that. I just want us to be able to look back and think, wow, that really happened, and laugh. The only thing is, I have no clue how to write a diary, so it might end up being in my weird style. I can't help it since I've never written one before, not that it really matters. I don't know if this makes sense as the topic for my first diary entry, but today we talked about weddings. It's already been over a year since we attended Kaguri and Notio's amazing ceremony. A lot of people started talking in private about it, and now more people want to get married. That's nice, something positive to talk about. Also, I realized I had a big misunderstanding. What Kisara told me about how if we don't catch the bride's bouquet, you can never get married. I'm glad that isn't true. It's not like I care much one way or the other, but I guess it bothered me just a little. Speaking of which, Alphen looks strangely serious at dinner. I wonder what's going on. It's not like the food tasted bad. I mean, he got second helpings. Maybe he was thinking of a new dish. Kisara consulted me. Rummo and Alphen were talking and I was going to join them, but then Kisara stopped me. Okay, so this is like what Shion is doing while they're doing the side quest. She said she wanted advice on her new shield, like how to make the design more visually pleasing. I'd always taken her to be the practical type, but it seems she'd come to understand the importance of style. This is a wonderful development. I'll need to give her some good advice. Anyway, she seemed really focused on the details. Even after she finished telling me about it, she kept asking one question after another, so it went on for a while. I didn't even notice that Alfred and Rimwo had already finished talking. Kisara sure is particular about her designs. So I think this will take some time, but it'll be worth it. Get ready for a great shield, Kisara. What are Alphen and the others talking about? I've been helping Kisara with the new design of her shield for a while, but she'd suddenly told me that's enough. After she'd been asking me so passionately about every detail too. I wonder if she didn't like my advice. She didn't seem all that bothered by it though. I thought I'd go ask Rimwell, but she was in the middle of talking to Alphen, so I changed my mind. Speaking of which, the two of them sure have been talking a lot. I wonder what it's about. I wish they'd include me, if it's such an exciting topic. But it's not like I want to know all about Alphen's personal business or anything. I'm just a little curious. Who wouldn't be a little curious? Law's acting weird. Law told me to give him and Alphen space when they're talking. Apparently they're discussing something really serious and important. Sounds suspicious to me. Very suspicious. A little too suspicious. I swear, Law was grinning more than usual. He must be up to something. He's not good at hiding things. I wish Alphen wasn't mixed up in it though. He was a bit of a softie, so I'm worried. Maybe I should keep an eye on things. Save these entries for a little bit later. I don't want to read too much back to back.
Did you need something?
I have a question for you. Can you spare some time if you're not busy with your duties?
I've always got time for you. I still owe you a huge debt. After all, it's thanks to what you all did a year ago that we regained the most important thing a human has. The ability to think.
All we did was help. It's you guys who actually took it back.
Even then, I still have a debt owed to you. So, what do you want to talk about?
I'm trying to decide where I want to live a little further down the road. When I'm ready to settle down. We're traveling around to various places to see how they strike me. Now we're here. So, how's life in Pelegion?
Hey, it's great that things have calmed down enough for you to think about settling down, even if it's still a ways off. But as far as living here... Look, it's a beautiful city, and Renans live here comfortably. The problem is, Danans can't say the same. Plus, there are probably more than a few Renans here that would be less than pleased with your presence.
I guess it isn't the best for me. The city being beautiful is important to people who care about aesthetics, but...
I think Ganya is right. Pelegion is far from ideal for you, at least in its current state. If our efforts are met with continued success, perhaps one day it will be a city where anyone can live without issue. If possible, it would be great to reach that point before you've chosen a place to settle.
I'll be working hard towards that goal myself. You once told me that you fight against anyone who uses force to take what doesn't belong to them.
That's right.
I really took those words to heart and decided I wanted to help create a society free from hate. You've never let me down. Never betrayed my trust. This time, I want you to trust in me. I will make this city a suitable place for you and your future family to live.
All right. I believe you, Ganya. I'm glad we came to Pelegion, even though it was for my own personal reasons. It gave me the chance to talk with Ganya and you about these kinds of things.
So, what should we do next? Should we make our way to Mahak Sar?
Tensions are still high there, so I'm not sure if it'd be right to take anyone's time with my personal issues. I think we can rule out Nies. I'd cause way too many problems for Beifan, and I wouldn't want to do that to him.
We keep in touch with Nies through trade and the occasional information exchange. If the opportunity arises, Can I let them know you've begun thinking about your future?
Sure, as long as you don't make a big deal out of it. I'm really just doing some research for now.
Should we return to Vicente then? It is a relaxed and cozy place after all.
Who could we talk to there?
How about Kisara's friend, Legil? She can likely offer opinions from a viewpoint different from Droshin's.
Good idea. Let's go see if she'll talk with us. If Vicente isn't a good fit, then I'm not sure what options will be left. I had no idea it was this hard to find a place to live. I'm glad I had the chance to experience it for myself.
The situation changes by the day. Even if it was difficult this time, it may not be the same in the future. Plus, Legil's a reliable person to go to for advice. I bet she can provide us with useful information.
Let's read another Shion diary. I read that one. This is the one we have to read. Hopefully I'm just overthinking things. Seems like Alpha and Doc were really having a deep conversation. Maybe Law wasn't joking about discussing something serious with Alphen and this is somehow related? When I tried to ask what they were talking about, Dohalim stopped me, so I never found out. I asked him, do you think Law's planning something? He's acting so strange. But Dohalim sidestepped the question and said, isn't Law's behavior always a little strange? Law's obviously acting suspicious and Dohalim's trying to throw me off the trail. Come to think of it, Kisara was acting strange too. And I feel like Alphen and Rimwell kept glancing over at me. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I feel like everyone except me is involved in some sort of discussion. Oh, gee, you think? I can't help but think maybe, just maybe they found out about that. What? Is this why Gordano calls Shion his daughter, even if it's a joke? Staying with Gordano, I ran into the old foodie and he said something confusing. If I had a daughter, she'd be like you. If you ever end up in a different situation and things get rough, you can always come back home. He's been wandering around on a journey, hasn't he? So what does he mean, come back home? And why would I go to him anyway? I have no idea what he was trying to say. Maybe the reason he talked to me like that is because everyone already knows about my secret. It would be horrible if everyone turned against me for it. If that happens, then maybe going to stay with him isn't a bad option. No, that'd be awful. What? Let's save the Rimwell. Let's save the one with the secret for later. Isn't Niez under the mask plague? Yeah, but Beifan isn't under the mask
That was quite the little
influence.
adventure we went on.
Like 90% of Niez is under the mask's influence, but Beifan doesn't have a mask to my memory. If I remember correctly. Which I would assume is the whole reason, and that's what Alphen meant when he said Niez is not the best call.
Legil, sorry to bother you. Can we chat with you about life in Vicente?
Oh, I'm happy you'd come to me for advice, but life in Vicente? Why? Is someone going to move here?
I'm considering it, but I haven't decided or even thought about a lot of details. For now, I'm traveling around and trying to find a place that would be nice to settle into once my journey is over.
Is that so? Well, I think Vicente is a great place to live. But recently, the population is exploding, and there isn't much space. We're getting overcrowded.
Guess there are downsides to Vicente's skyrocketing popularity.
But if you're going to live in Menancia, there are other options besides Vicente. For example, you can build a house near Traslita Highway just outside of town.
Outside of town? That thought hadn't occurred to me.
I know a really nice spot. However, it's currently inhabited by a gigantic Zoogle.
That Zoogle is history. I will fight for our future home.
Well then, perhaps we can take care of that problem when we go scout the location.
Oh, that would be a huge help. Would you please?
Okay, we'll take care of it. We can't build a house if Zoogles live there.
Thanks. I appreciate it. By the way, I apologize if I've got the wrong idea here, but if marriage is the reason you end up relocating, then can I have your wedding bouquet?
I don't think you ask for the wedding bouquet, you just gotta catch it.
I already told Kisara, but I heard that if you can't catch a bouquet, you'll always be single and alone.
So you're where she heard that preposterous rumor?
All right.
get in Dohalim and Kisara, and we will play as Dohalim.
Right. Let's go take care of the Zoogle on Treslita Highway.
Bet. We're a little bit over an hour and a half in stream, so we still have time. We have one side quest to do once the whole X quest is done, but it shouldn't take very long. I don't think it'll take very long. It's probably just a simple fetch quest. And then we have, like, we did some of the final dungeon already, so we're still on good progress here. We're still doing good time-wise. Where is this Zoogle? Oh, it's right there. Oh, would you look at this? Another Zoogle that is a reskin.
No ordinary party either. Look, isn't that what Legil was talking about? A giant Zoogle?
Looks like it. Let's get this done.
When did we fight this thing? I know we fought it at some point.
Difficult to predict.
Oh, this is the boar. Yeah, we fought this thing in Vasin. It was this exact area in the base game. The third realm. On the ground. It doesn't have much HP at least. I'm gonna be getting that horn. Ow. Hey, Penumbra. Oh, get down, loser. Okay, this thing is dying really quick. Punch. In a bind. Xion gun. This thing is dying so quick. Get him, Alpin.
It looks like we made a mess.
No, no, no. It is an overlimit, so Kisara would not work there. This boar cannot take it. Just die. That's Cure for some reason. Oh, I was doing the arena with Dohalim, that's why I put that there. Oh, nice. Scarlet Inferno for the finish.
Now! Scarlet Inferno! I'll heal you. I'll face you. Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Correct.
It's a pretty nice spot, like Legil said. A great view, and relaxing too.
Sounds as though you like it then. I too feel this would be a good spot for you.
I feel like I could just wake up, check out the view, do a little stretching, and be ready for a big day.
Feeling good about your environment is important. Now, shall we return to Vicint and inform Legil?
Yeah, maybe even kill some Zoogles, just like how Velvet gets along with her day, kills some Prickleboar. Kill some Prickleboar, makes meals for her brother.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Before, you know, the whole tragedy happens, the Scarlet Knight. Love me some Tales of Berseria.
We defeated the Zoogle, Legil.
Thanks. So, how was the location?
Man, that was a nice spot. I can see myself enjoying life there. Maybe that means it's a good fit for me.
I think that when you get married and look for a home in earnest, what we've learned will aid quite a bit in your search.
Yeah. I thought that as long as they had 4 walls and a roof, all houses were the same regardless of where they are. But I was wrong.
I thought that much was obvious.
I'm glad you like it. If you seriously consider moving here, please let me know. The house itself is just as important as the location. So I can introduce you to a pro who can help with everything from layout to paint color.
Thanks, Legil.
You'll have a lot to think about, especially considering you won't be the only person living in the house. It seemed you had someone on your mind as we were traveling. But are you satisfied with the information we gathered?
I really don't know anything, so I thought that it would be enough to learn about marriage in general. But that isn't enough. Nearly everyone we met told me to think more about my partner. So I was trying to keep my partner in mind as I did my research, but honestly, I'm not sure if what I've done is correct.
I see. I believe that no knowledge or experience is without its merits. Right now, your head is full of worry and doubt, but it's a necessary step towards finding a better future for yourself.
I hope you're right.
You've only just begun to think about your future. There is no need to rush these things, Alphen.
Go, Halim. Thank you.
So there should be only one more of these X-quests. And it's gonna involve Kisara, probably.
Choosing a home is basically setting your future life in stone.
It's important to think practically about the future. For example, calculating your spending so you know how much you'll save in 1 year.
I bet you're good at planning out your future down to the smallest detail, Kisara.
Alright, let's read those 2 diary entries. Did Rimwo discover my secret? Alphen and Dohalim were whispering to each other, or so I thought, but when I tried to get closer, Rimwo came over and started talking to me. She was obviously trying to stop me from overhearing them. Don't tell me you're in on this too, Rimwell. Have you discovered my secret after all our time together? I was hoping you alone would be there for me no matter what happens. No, I shouldn't doubt her. Maybe she really did just want to talk. But what if? Only my diary will know the truth. I don't know how this ended up happening, but we've been going around to various places, like checking out different locations. Speaking of which, in Vicent we saw Lagil, and she apologized for telling me a lie. But what was she talking about? Kisara and Rimwell both looked strangely flustered about it. Everyone's definitely acting weird. If this is how it's gonna be, maybe I should just go ahead and confess to Rimwell at least, and apologize. I'm sure she'll forgive me. About the secret I keep mentioning, when it's my turn to cook, I secretly eat an extra plate of food under the guise of testing the flavor, and when we eat together, I get a second serving then too. So they all think I'm having seconds, but I'm not. I'm actually having thirds! But only when there's extra food to go around, of course, will they forgive me. Oh, Shion, why? Why?